London Heathrow, Terminal 5, Isabella Hartwell froze mid-step, her Valentino heels rooted to the polished marble floor. Through the glass partition separating first-class lounges from the main concourse, she saw him, Marcus Reed, the man whose last name she'd erased from her life 6 years ago, kneeling to tie a child's shoelace. At 38, Isabella wasn't just wealthy, she was a force. CEO of Meridian Global, the fastest-growing renewable energy conglomerate in Europe. Her face had graced the covers of Forbes, Time, Financial Times. Her voice moved markets. Her signature could green-light projects that powered entire cities. Today, she was scheduled to board her Bombardier Global 7500 for a climate summit in Zurich. Her chief of staff had already cleared security. The private jet was fueling on the tarmac. But Isabella didn't move, because beside Marcus stood two girls, blonde hair pulled into matching braids, one clutching a worn copy of Matilda, the other laughing at something her sister whispered. Sophia and Emma, the daughters Isabella had left in a London hospital nursery when they were 2 days old. 6 years ago, Isabella Hartwell was Isabella Reed, a junior energy analyst with a failing marriage and a mind that was slowly coming undone. Postpartum psychosis hit her like a freight train 3 days after the twins were born. She stopped sleeping, started hearing voices that told her she was dangerous, that her daughters would be better off without her, that Marcus deserved someone who wasn't broken. The doctors called it temporary, treatable. But Isabella didn't trust temporary. She didn't trust herself. So one morning, while Marcus was asleep and the twins were finally quiet, she walked out of their flat in Notting Hill with nothing but her passport and a bank card. She didn't leave a note, didn't say goodbye. She just disappeared. Now, through 2 panes of glass and 6 years of silence, Isabella watched Marcus stand up. He looked older, thinner. His coat was department store generic. His hands trembled slightly as he brushed snow from Emma's shoulder. Then he turned. Their eyes met. For 3 seconds, the world stopped. Marcus didn't smile, didn't wave. His expression was something worse than anger. It was acceptance. Like he'd always known she'd show up one day, and that it wouldn't matter. He turned away, took both girls by the hand, and walked toward a budget airline gate. Isabella's phone buzzed. Her assistant, "Jet's ready. They're holding for your clearance." She didn't answer. Instead, she watched Sophia, or was it Emma, glance back through the crowd. The girl's eyes were sharp, intelligent, searching. Then she was gone. Isabella didn't board the plane to Zurich. She stood in an empty gate lounge for 20 minutes, staring at her phone. Marcus's number was still saved. It had survived 6 years, 3 phones, 4 promotions, and a complete identity rebuild. She opened a text, typed, "It's me." Deleted it. Typed, "I saw you." Deleted it. Finally typed, "I'm sorry," and pressed send before she could stop herself. 3 minutes later, her phone buzzed. "Marcus, don't." That was all. Isabella closed her eyes, exhaled, then opened her contacts and dialed a name she hadn't called in 2 years. Cameron Shaw, former MI6, now her private intelligence consultant. I need everything on Marcus Reed. Current address, employment, medical history, school records for the girls. I need it yesterday. The dossier arrived 18 hours later. Isabella sat in her Chelsea penthouse, rain streaking the floor-to-ceiling windows, and opened the encrypted file. Marcus Reed, 41. Occupation, part-time music instructor at a state school in Bristol. Income, £24,000 annually. Residence, 2-bedroom council flat near Easton. Medical, diagnosed 14 months ago. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, early onset ALS. Prognosis, 2 to 4 years. Isabella's hands went numb. She flipped the page. Photos. Marcus walking the girls to school, both of them holding his hands. His gait uneven. Marcus at a piano, teaching a boy with thick glasses. His smile tired, but real. Marcus asleep on a threadbare couch. Sophia and Emma curled against him like protective bookends. There was a mug on the coffee table. It said, "World's Best Dad." Isabella stared at it until her vision blurred. She had walked away from this man when he needed her most, left him to raise 2 infants alone, and now he was dying. If you believe people who abandon their families deserve a second chance, or if you think some mistakes are unforgivable, subscribe now and comment "Everyone deserves the truth," because this story is just beginning. Isabella flew to Bristol the next morning. No assistant, no security, just her, a rental car, and an address scribbled on hotel stationery. She found Marcus outside a primary school, waiting with the other parents. He saw her before she could speak. "No," he said simply. "I just want to." "You don't get to do this." His voice was calm, deadly calm. "You don't get to swoop in with your guilt and your money and your 'I'm sorry' and think it fixes 6 years. Sophia and Emma emerged from the school gates. They saw their father talking to a stranger and slowed. "Who's that?" Emma whispered. Sophia's gaze sharpened. "I don't know." Marcus turned to them, smiled. "No one. Let's go." He walked past Isabella without another word, but as they left, Sophia looked back, just once, and in that glance, Isabella saw recognition, not of her face, but of something missing. Isabella rented a flat 2 blocks from Marcus's building. She didn't approach them, didn't knock on the door, she just watched. Watched Marcus struggle to button his coat. Watched Sophia help him tie his shoes. Watched Emma read to him when his hands shook too badly to hold the book himself. And she realized something brutal. These girls didn't need a mother. They had become each other's mothers, and their father's caretakers, at 8 years old. One afternoon, Isabella was sitting in a cafe across from the school when Emma walked in with a friend's parent. She ordered hot chocolate, waited at the counter. Isabella's heart hammered. Emma turned, saw her, froze, then quietly walked over. "You're the woman from the airport," Emma said. Yes. Are you following us? Isabella's throat tightened. No, I used to know your dad. Emma studied her. He doesn't talk about you. I know. But Sophia said she's seen you in dreams. She thinks you're our mom. The world tilted. What did your dad tell you about your mom? Emma shrugged. That she was sick and that she loved us, but she couldn't stay. Isabella's eyes burned. Do you think that's true? Emma asked. Isabella's voice broke. Yes. I think she loved you more than anything, and that's why she left. Emma nodded slowly, then picked up her hot chocolate and walked away. But at the door, she turned back. If you see her, Emma said quietly, tell her we turned out okay. Isabella had robbed these girls of a mother, but they were offering her forgiveness she didn't deserve. If you believe children should never have to forgive adults for abandoning them, hit subscribe, because what comes next will make you question everything. It happened on a Tuesday. Isabella was walking past Marcus's building when she heard Sophia scream. She didn't think, just ran. The door was unlocked. She burst inside. Marcus was on the floor, convulsing. Emma was crying, phone in hand, trying to dial 999. Sophia was frozen. Isabella dropped to her knees. Marcus, Marcus, look at me. His eyes found hers, confused, terrified. You're okay. I've got you. She checked his pulse, tilted his head, cleared his airway. The ambulance arrived 6 minutes later. At the hospital, the doctor explained. Seizure brought on by medication interaction and stress. He'd be okay, but his condition was accelerating. Marcus woke up 3 hours later, saw Isabella sitting beside his bed. You stayed, he whispered. I'm not leaving again. In the pale hospital light, Isabella finally told him everything. The psychosis, the voices, the fear that she'd hurt them, the shame that made her run instead of fight. Marcus listened, didn't interrupt. When she finished, he said, You could have told me. I know. I would have helped you. I know. Silence. Then Marcus said, They ask about you sometimes. I never knew what to say. What do you want to say? That their mom is the strongest person I ever met, and the most afraid. Isabella's tears finally came. I can't undo 6 years, she whispered. But if you let me, I want to be here for what's left. Marcus closed his eyes. They'll need you when I'm gone. They'll need you longer than you think. Isabella, his voice cracked. I'm dying. I know. She took his hand. But you're not gone yet. Marcus had every reason to shut her out, to protect his daughters from more pain. If you believe second chances are earned, not given, comment, Love is a choice, and subscribe, because this family story is far from over. 3 weeks later, Isabella stood in Marcus's tiny kitchen, making breakfast while the girls got ready for school. Sophia walked in, stopped. You're still here? She said. Not a question, an observation. I'm still here. Emma appeared behind her. Are you staying? Isabella knelt down, met their eyes. If you'll let me. The girls looked at each other, some silent twin language passing between them. Then Sophia said, We don't need a mom who's perfect. Emma nodded. We just need one who stays. Isabella's voice broke. Then I'm staying. For the first time in 6 years, she felt something she'd forgotten. She felt like she was home. But as Marcus watched from the doorway, leaning heavily on his cane, he whispered something only Isabella could hear. They forgave you, but I need you to forgive yourself. And in that moment, Isabella realized the hardest part wasn't coming back. It was learning to stay. Some mistakes can't be undone. Some wounds don't fully heal. But sometimes love isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again and again, even when you don't deserve it, especially then.